Darcy, thanks for that kind introduction. When I get that much applause before I start speaking, it makes me really nervous. And by the way, thanks for the walkout music too. I was afraid you'd play my Toby Keith favorite, I Ain't As Good As I Once Was. Had that happen before. It's incredibly humbling to be with such an amazing group of men and women here tonight. Not only those who have served and the special warfare folks, but all of you who have made this organization so special and so important. The Naval Special Warfare folks have played an important part in my life in so many ways. I'll never forget when I served on the Benghazi Committee and had a chance to meet with the families of Mr. Doherty and Mr. Woods. And I got a chance to talk with them about this organization, this enterprise. I saw in that same attacks that night in Libya, we saw an ambassador who was killed. And at that time, I would never have dreamed that I would lead both the CIA, where those former Navy folks were serving, and then the State Department. And I never forgot those moments. I never forgot how we failed those men that night as a nation, not doing everything necessary to ensure that they were able to come back to their families. And when I was nominated to be the CIA director, swore that I would always do everything I could to bring these special people home every day and every night. And then when I became Secretary of State, to make sure that my foreign service officers, those serving in dangerous places in the world, came home too. And what was so lovely about my connectivity to what it is this group of teammates do is certainly the heroics that we see in the movies, the heroics we see in real life, the stories that get told, and then many of the stories we see in actions that we never get the chance to learn about. But I was always and remain deeply appreciative of the acts that never have to take place, and the operations that are planned and prepared for, and execution perfected but never called upon, because the world is afraid of our Navy special warfighters, because the world knows how dangerous they are to them and how many things they can't do, because they know that our Commander-in-Chief, served by his Secretary of Defense, and when I was the CIA director, had the chance to work with many of them, we had tools at our disposal to make their lives really miserable. And that's the power of all the hard work and all the love that you bring to this room tonight. There is a woman named Caitlin Coleman. She was taken hostage by the Haqqani network and absconded within Afghanistan and then on into Pakistan with her husband Coleman. And she had three children while in captivity. And on a morning in 2017, my team called me in and said, "Sir, we think we've found the Colemans. We think we've found the family." It was a few hours later that we began to plan how we might get them back. They were just across the border in Pakistan, literally a few hundred yards inside the Pakistani border from Afghanistan. And the best decision available was to call upon American SEALs to go rescue these hostages. In the moment, it did not end up that way. They came, they prepared, they were remarkable. And their patience while we waited for the right moment, the right time, the right operational conditions to execute that mission, we saw that they were moving. It was a single phone call to the head of the Pakistani Armed Services, telling them if they did not pull this vehicle that we could see off the road and rescue and bring back these Americans to freedom, that we would unleash all the hell that the Navy SEALs could bring upon them. They all went home. Those three American children went home to their families because of not the work that was done in the moment, but the work that was done over years in communicating to the world the amazing capabilities, the remarkable heroics, and the decency and character of our naval operators and of our nation. When I sat across the table from adversaries like Chairman Kim, who, by the way, I spent way too much time with. I'll never get those hours back. By the way, I am the American record holder. The previous American record holder for time with Chairman Kim was Dennis Rodman. So quite an accomplishment, yes. I told my son I would break NBA records. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. They knew who these warriors were. They woke up every morning wondering, would they land on my beach? Would they be in my headquarters? Would the United States become so concerned about what it was I might do that they might bring to bear the full force and might of the United States of America in the face of these naval heroes? It gave me incredible leverage. It gave me incredible power. It gave me incredible courage, and it gave my boss, the President of the United States, options that no other leader in the world possesses to deliver on the American mission. I cannot thank these men enough for what they did for our team, for me, and for my family to keep us all safe, and what they continue to do each and every day to do this for folks who are serving today, trying to keep Americans safe. You know, it's moving to hear these stories. The testimony tonight, the Gold Star widow, both breaks your heart and reminds you that the Lord is at work and that America is this unique and exceptional place. And this technical proficiency, this tactical and strategic brilliance, the leadership skills possessed by these men are unique. But most unique is they evince the very character that our founders were counting upon to protect this great nation and to keep our Judeo-Christian country in the right place and on course and prepared to defend the things that matter most. You know, it's easy sometimes to watch the news and get frustrated and see that things aren't going exactly the way you'd want. My 401k is down too. But what does it say about a nation that continues to produce such extraordinary human beings? You know, we live in a world where TikTok's a big deal and social influencers often seem to dominate the news and celebrity seems to be the highest of values, and yet there's a group of people who want none of that. They want the love of their family, they want the kinship of their teammates, and they want to serve. These quiet professionals, they remind us that true greatness lies in that service that seeks no recognition, but knows the good work that they have done. This love, this set of traditional values is what I see in everyone who's come here tonight to support, by writing a check, by shaking a hand, with a little prayer, with a pat on the back, or just a little bit of encouragement and love, and will leave here tonight and take that to their communities, wherever they may find themselves. You all, and especially these warriors, are a rebuke to those who want to say that our nation's best days are behind us. I don't believe that for a second. As long as we continue to produce these men of character, and as long as you are prepared to do the things that are necessary, to love them, to pray for them, to support them, that I'm confident that we'll get another 250 great years. You know, when I would meet these folks, it was great fun. When you're the CI director, you get to fly around in a beautiful C-17. Thank you all very much for providing that for me. By the way, back in a middle seat on Delta, it's okay, it's fine. Life's good. But when I'd get a chance to meet these warriors as CI director, I got to do it a little more than when I was a Secretary of State. We had joint operations along with some of my guys. Most of the true special operators at the CI were former military guys who had served in the most elite military units. And whenever I'd meet them, they'd all smile because they knew I just was a lowly tank commander back in my day. But they also knew something different. They knew that I cared about them and that I was going to do everything I could to take care of them. And they knew that I had a boss, a president, that was prepared to do the same thing. And we were going to focus on excellence in warfighting and the things that matter most and the culture that has delivered for our country for so long. I'm so happy to be here tonight to get a chance to honor these men. Six weeks or so ago, I became a grandfather for the first time. Yeah, that you should applaud. That's so far. Little Jack Michael's crushing it. Maybe he'll go to Buds one day. Who knows? Try to get him in the Army, but we'll see what happens. That means that I have a responsibility now too. For a little bit, I just had to worry about myself and our son, but now I have another generation that I need to worry about, just like you all do. And I must say, don't let the naysayers get you down, that we are not a nation in decline. Don't let those who say that the decadence that we see from time to time around us on our campuses and the problems that we have in America are too big for us to solve and that our best days are no longer in front of us. I don't believe that. You don't believe that. And we know that it's not because we're passive. We know that because we are actively a part of doing that, of making that. And when I was walking through the hallway tonight, someone walked up and thanked me for my service. And I appreciate that very much. It was real service. It was 4 long years for sure. And I was introduced as the 7th Secretary of State, which always reminded me that President Trump was the 45th president, and so there was more turnover in my gig. And so I got up every morning, checked my phone, no tweet, had a job, went to work. But I tell that, I tell that story because that's what we do as Americans. The greatness of our nation is that these men got up and they worked every day and they made their team better and they got up every day just like you do and they work. They work to raise their family. They work to teach at Sunday school. They work to make the chili dinner at their VFW. We work. We do the things that we know build communities and make our nation a place that has never been recreated in the history of civilization and likely never will be again. It's why the imperative of what these warriors do matters so much to each and every one of us. We have to get this right. The world is depending on it. I'm depending on it. I'm counting on each of you, as is little Jack Michael. So thank you. Thanks for all the work that you have put in. Thanks to these amazing men who have sacrificed so much of their lives and their families who have sacrificed alongside of them. You can never walk in the shoes of the people who have made this sacrifice themselves personally. I can't do that. But I can appreciate what they have done. I can cherish this service, and I can work my tail off to make sure that America continues to honor it. Thank you all for doing that tonight, and thanks to the Navy SEAL Foundation for all you do for these men. Bless you. May God bless this organization and our great nation as well. Thank you.